Whoa, hey, Quant's T3 code just got a whole lot better. We're going to be getting into that today. So let's get started. If you remember in the most recent videos that I did, when I was comparing different editors, I mentioned that cursor agents ran much better than the experience I was having just at the end of the run on the Mac OS device that I was using. And so I wanted to give it a little bit more of a trial because it had some things, the whole all-in-one experience that I just wanted to play with a little bit and give it a shot instead of having multiple windows open. However, yesterday, after updating T3 code, they closed a lot of the gaps that I was calling out. And so this is not going to be a super long video, but I just want to go through and highlight those differences here. So I am on my Lynx device. I mentioned I had a ton more projects on here that I use. And so you can see that over there, but just for fun, I'm gonna go ahead and close that because I don't need it. This project that is open currently is something that I just started playing with yesterday because, and I'm gonna get into the details of that later. So I'm not going to really talk about it right now, but I have a project. Actually, maybe it makes more sense if I leave this open just so we could see. I have this AI benchmark project that I'm currently on, but it doesn't matter. You can switch between different projects. The UCount self-headless, that's a volunteer operation that I've been doing, helping out. That organization fights against human trafficking, really good cause there. I will probably put out a video just to highlight the redesign of the website that I helped them out with. As just work for, I say work for fun, just to help them out. But going back to the editor, my point about those is that I can switch between, and I already demonstrated this, I can switch between the different projects here and just kind of mention the different things that we see in each project. So for this project in particular, you can open the terminal, which was always the case before. Doing it, they did change the icons a little bit, and so I typically use the hotkey, but I'm just going to highlight the buttons in this case. So you can use this toggle terminal drawer button, and over on the right, you can split it different ways. And then they actually added one of the features that I mentioned that I kind of preferred, which was the ability to open a terminal on the side. Well, what they did there, instead of removing this, is they added something similar to both how cursor agents and also codecs operate, which is the ability to have this sidebar with different things. If I click on this, you'll see what I have going on right now is the browser that is currently being rendered. And so this is the local project that I'm running on localhost. And so that was a huge win in terms of adding that missing feature. However, if I wanted to do the terminal on the side, as I mentioned, I have the ability to put the terminal on the side right here. I just noticed this, it actually counts the terminals up here in the tabs. There's no tab concepts that I see. You have the terminal main terminal. I guess they're just iterating that as terminal 1, terminal 2. That's kind of interesting. I didn't really notice that before, but in any case, you have the terminal here. And then you also have the ability to view the diffs. I will say that I have seen some issues here with the diffs. And so when I'm looking at this diff, this is not a correct diff. And so there were a lot more changes here, and I'm not sure why this is showing that. Maybe it's it says turn 1. Maybe I didn't realize that it wasn't updating because the UI changed. So if I go to turn 6, I should just see that one. I'll probably open source this project. I don't know. I don't really care about this project getting out. So the diffs I'm sharing here, I'm not too concerned about. Branch changes, working tree. I'm not in a working tree. So last turn is going to be turn 6. Branch changes, nothing there. I guess, yeah, I'm not on a branch. I will commit this to a branch eventually, but that's probably why I was missing that before. So that was probably just my mistake. And then the other thing is, and this is a huge one, is the files. And so just being able to have the files here, and then similar to how we saw this, you've got a file, you can open your file tree picker, close it, and then you also have the ability for Markdown, for example, to see your Markdown as Markdown. One thing that you can do here is search for files as well. It's not as like other ones you'd expect. I don't know. Can you do Control B? No, that closes the other side, which is not uncommon. But you can't do like Control or Command P yet. So, some of the hotkeys aren't there yet. But again, they still have this in alpha mode. And as I mentioned, these guys are just, I think they're doing a great job putting things together. So I just wanted to highlight that T3 code just got a whole lot better. I probably am not going to move over to cursors. There's one thing in cursor that I will say, because I called out the ability to pick out different models here, and you can use the cursor models also. One of the problems or concerns that you might need to be aware of is if you have the agent CLI, which is the cursor version of their CLI installed so that you can use it through something like that, that will hit their API costs. And so usually what ends up happening when I'm using it is I will max out my API costs. And then if I want to continue using any cursor models, or if I just want to use like the Opus and GPT-5.5 models through cursor, what I end up having to do is use the cursor editor. But that my need for that application in itself is actually pretty much going away with all this. So I'm still going to give this one a full shot to try that full experience. It's kind of in my wheelhouse of what I wanted to use in the first place. And one of the huge benefits of this is this will work on any operating system, whereas I discussed before, some of them are only on Mac or only on Windows. And so you run into issues if you're trying to run them on other devices. And since I prefer Linux, this is just in my wheelhouse. So I'm going to keep it there. So anyway, if you're interested in trying out that editor, I would definitely give it a shot. They're filling out those features quick. And I find this one pretty interesting. It's certainly closing the gaps. And that will be it for today. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace, Quants.